That's it.
It's Friday Night Live with Vince, pregame, postgame show. Your destination for top high school football previews and wrap-ups with Vince and his team. Buckle up and hang on for Friday Night Live.
And now, welcome to the
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating a platform to promote young people in extracurricular activities and community outreach. If you are interested in partnering up with the Varsity Sports Show, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or call or text us at 480-779-9437. The Varsity Sports Show, Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and youth.
And you're live.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. My name is Vince Delicio, live in studio with more of our talented team and more of our extremely exceptional content. We are so excited to bring you another edition after a big night of high school football here in the state of Arizona, as well as Southern Nevada, and whatever corner of this incredible globe that you are in and you are tuning in this morning on our live stream link, whether it be through our social media, all of our social media. We are on Facebook Live. I know that's what all the old people watch. Like me, we had LinkedIn, where are we? A couple of YouTube channels, 3 YouTube channels, X, Instagram Live, and NFHS Network. Thank you for tuning in, as well as our terrestrial radio station, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, and KDUS1060.com, wherever you are and you are listening. Joining me in studio, 2 very talented journalists, Adam Maggard and Javier Delgado. Adam, how's it going?
It's going great. It's a good morning. It was very nice. Weather was beautiful this morning. It's always fun to be out and early and doing something I love, which is sports.
You made an interesting comment on the way in. You said something, there's nothing like what about Saturday mornings?
An Arizona morning, especially on the weekend, it's just so peaceful. There's not very many people out. It's just great vibes in the morning, you know?
You're a morning guy.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of morning people that are college students. Normally they're like possums. They're all-nighters, and then they sleep almost like vampires.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love sleeping in, but it is always a vibe being up early, getting a good early morning, good start to the day, a little breakfast, and just taking a little bit of time while everything's still peaceful.
Yeah, okay. And what about you, Javier? Did you have to struggle to get up this morning?
Yeah, just a little bit. I was still rolling around in bed trying to get here. Might be the opposite of Adam. I wouldn't say I'm a morning person, but like he said, when you are up in the morning in Arizona, it is a beautiful day. And like he said, today was amazing, and I'm just happy to be here.
You guys have been working your tails off this semester. Is that, would you consider that a true statement?
Yeah, it's been busy. Everything's definitely ramped up quite a bit. It started a little slow. I wasn't working too much, but these past, I don't know, month probably, honestly, as things have really gotten into swing. I've been pretty busy, working at least 2 days a week, maybe 3 on occasion. So
in addition
pretty packed.
to school and everything else. Mm-hmm. Did I not undersell the internship and the commitment, or was I pretty spot on that things would start to get a little busy?
I would say you were spot on. It definitely picked up. It's been fun. New sports coming in. We have swimming, volleyball. It's been fun. I know there's a few more sports coming up. Basketball season starting soon. So everything's really ramping up. It's going to be a fun end of the semester, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think so. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Where are you guys from? Javier, where are you from? You're a Central Valley guy, aren't you?
I am. I'm from, if anyone has heard of it, Stockton, California.
Oh, yeah.
45 minutes away from Sacramento. And yeah, I've found myself here in Arizona, go to Cronkite, downtown Phoenix. Love it there. Yeah, Central Valley, like you said.
I used to live in Clovis. I spent a couple of years up in the Central Valley and really enjoyed it. Once upon a time, I worked for a company years back that it was I used to cover the whole Central Valley. So I'd go up to Stockton, through Modesto, Merced, down into Bakers, far south is Bakersfield, but and then east and covered Porterville, and then west and up to I-5 and all those small towns up and down I-5. So I know the 99 freeway very well. Got to be good friends with that road. Yeah, no, great communities up and down the Central Valley, the breadbasket of America, as they call it. And then, Adam, where are you from?
I'm from a little more north of Phoenix, all the way up in. I'm originally from Salt Lake, but I grew up in Park City, which is just a little more north. It's in the mountains. Grew up skiing, and yeah, it's beautiful out there. But I also love Arizona. Nothing beats the sunsets in Arizona, you know.
So some great schools in your backyard. Fresno State University, UC Merced. You go north, you got UOP, University of Pacific up there. Further north, UC Davis. You go west, you got Cal, you got San Jose State, you got, although I don't know that people say it's a great school, but Cal, you got Stanford. So why Arizona State, Javier?
So yeah, I mean, I chose ASU because honestly, I wanted to go to. I did a tour at Cronkite. I really liked what they offer, and then after my freshman year, I kind of realized all that they have to offer. The Arizona sports scene's amazing, not just college sports, professional sports. And then the more I've done this internship, I got to see high school sports is also starting to grow here. So yeah, all those aspects have been a reason why I came here. It's about 11-hour drive, so I don't want to be in any other way.
And Adam, you got, Utah State, BYU. I mean, some great schools up there. Why ASU?
Yeah, it was a tough decision. I grew up a Utah fan. I love Utah. Definitely thought about going there, but as Javier said, ASU is, I mean, the weather, I was kind of tired of the cold. It gets a little brutal. It's fun skiing, but it gets a little depressing when it's freezing cold every day, it's snowing. But I chose ASU, yeah, simply for the program at Cronkite. BYU has a program that's pretty good, but I'm not Mormon myself, so it just didn't really seem like a great fit for me.
Yeah.
And Utah just doesn't have the best program, so ASU it was.
Let's talk about conference affiliation now. Before we had the Big 12, we had the Pac-12. Before the Pac-12, it was the Pac-10. But when in your lifetime, Pac-12, Utah, good fit?
Oh, yeah. The Pac-12 was amazing. Missed the Pac-12.
Missed the Pac-12.
Big 12's still fun.
Yeah.
New competition, so you can't hate it. But Pac-12 is iconic. Pac-12 at night was amazing. Utah, of course, they went to 2 Rose Bowls back-to-back against Penn State and Ohio State. Lost both of them, unfortunately. That was brutal. But
yeah.
It's been fun. Pac-12 was good. Now Big 12 it is.
And Javier, you're part of the West, with the Pac-12 and, Cal, Stanford, all the schools. Now it seems like it's been decimated, and you got the Big Ten now as a factor is involved, and we're kind of missing out on some of those rivalries. I mean, when I worked at ASU, we loved the trip up to Berkeley and into Palo Alto, but now those things aren't guaranteed anymore. And so, how do you feel about the new conference affiliations?
I kind of have mixed feelings about those. Like you said, we don't have those rivalries anymore. But also, to be honest with you, until I got to ASU, I honestly didn't keep up too much with college football or just college sports in general. So once my freshman year, when ASU was still in the Pac-12, I was still kind of learning how the conferences worked, who was in what conference. But now I'm kind of more tapped in. But yeah, like you said, we're missing on that rivalry aspect and making those trips up to the different colleges.
I would say it was almost the complete opposite for Utah, coming from the Pac-12. BYU not being in the Pac-12. Now we get to play the team down south, as they call BYU, at least every season now, because we're both in the Big 12. So that's fun. Yeah.
I mean, what I do remember, even back then, and they were non-conference games, but when we played BYU, it was always a great draw. I mean, it just here in particular, it was always a great draw, and bitter developed into a pretty bitter game year in and year out. Just very competitive. A lot of history there with BYU and Lavelle Edwards as the coach, and and I mean, it just a great program throughout the years, and great parity within a lot of those teams that were faced year in and year out. What are your guys' goals? Adam, starting with you, what do you want to do?
I mean, obviously, I'd love to do something sports related. I'd love to work NFL, NBA, doing really anything. I think it would be super fun to even do videoing and photos. But right now, my main goal is just to get a job doing some sort of news, even if it's just regular news. I'd love to work local news. And I'd also love to come back and live in Utah. That's my ultimate goal, would be to find a job there and be back close to home. So we'll see.
Javier.
Yeah, like Adam said, I'd love to stay in sports. I'm a huge football guy. I currently do digital reporting for the Sports Bureau in Cronkite. So ideally, I'd like to write for like a team, maybe an organization, but I'm very open-minded. I mean, with this broadcast, I've been growing my skills in the broadcast field. So I'm very open-minded. I'm just hoping something opens. And like you said, I'd like to go somewhere near close to home, but I wouldn't mind staying here in Arizona if the opportunity presents itself.
Do you feel like you're getting what you need from this internship?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, before this internship, I haven't had much broadcast experience, but I feel like after this, I've been growing my highlight reel, getting more reps, and so far I've enjoyed it. And before this, I haven't really had a headset on before, and I've really enjoyed it, especially doing color commentating, play-by-play. I've enjoyed it. I love it.
Awesome. All right. Well, good. You're going to get that and a lot more today on today's show. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to transition to the post-game interview. Mountain View, big double overtime win last night out at Highland. Great job by the Toros as they get some momentum heading into the postseason. They're going to find out who and where they play this morning for next Friday. And then we will have Desert Mountain football head coach Conrad Hamilton joining us at 9:15. Guys, don't go anywhere here on the Varsity Sports Show. Corey, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Ethan Trove. All clear. We can come back with 1 minute if you want to.
Andy Linton of the Mountain View Toros.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll bring us back. We'll transition into the break.
Two great teams that are rivals, on the east side of town. I thought that this was for us. We treated it like a playoff game to get in the open, and I feel like we were in the open, in that playoff. And so, our kids dug deep. I'm really proud of them on both sides of the ball. Our defense showed up, right, made big plays at the end. Our offense came out, executed, and they got it done. I'm proud of them.
Hey, you took the words right out of my mouth. Both sides of the ball made special plays, but two individuals on offense, your quarterback and strong wide receiver / running back, Arnett and Goodman, were the golden bunch tonight. How proud of them are you?
I think that the word love gets thrown out, and it's not. A lot of times it's not true. Since I've gotten here, Brady has done an incredible job. I love him. I think he does a great job, and it plays his tail off for his teammates. And he looked
Back on in 30 seconds.
I'm very proud of our slots. I'm proud of our team. I think that they played for each other tonight. That was the difference.
Last question, Coach. Regular season's over, playoff inbound. What's the message?
The boats are burned. So we're forward. There's no retreat, and we're doing it together. So it's forward or die. So boats are burned.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Back. Good luck.
The boats are burned. Awesome. Congratulations, Coach Andy Litton, who's been doing a masterful job out at Mountain View and hoping to repeat their appearance in the state championship game for 6A this postseason and maybe even pick up a trophy. So anyway, guys, when we come back from the break, as I said, we will be joined by Coach Conrad Hamilton, Desert Mountain High School. Big win last night, opening round of the playoffs over Gilbert. Looking forward to hearing what Coach has to say to break down the game, talk about what he wants to do heading into next week and how he's going to spend the rest of the weekend. So Vince, Adam, and Javier in studio. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back here on the Varsity Sports Show. Go Varsity.
absolute best in music has. Tune into the Dan Patrick Show.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
What's up, everybody? It's Rob Blackley, Medicine in Motion, out here in Paris. We're here at the Roland Garros.
Here to fuel your love for the game, bring you exclusive interviews, and celebrate every play right alongside you. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Viva Varsity for highlights, behind the scenes moments, and everything happening on and off the field. This is Viva Varsity, where the game comes alive in your language.
Teams Out West, bringing the best analysis of the NFL, NBA, and more every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince Delisio, Adam Maggard, and Javier Delgado in studio and joining us after a big win last night. First round of the 5A playoffs. Coach Conrad Hamilton, Desert Mountain. Coach, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm blessed. How are you?
We're doing great, Coach. Congrats on the big win last night. Got a lot of questions for you. Hoping you can break this one down for us, but we'll lead it off with Adam. Adam, take it away.
Coach, congrats on the win last night over Gilbert. It was a good game. I was there. Good bounce back after the tough loss to Notre Dame and the week before loss. So how would you assess your team's execution, particularly after a few challenging weeks? And looking ahead with a big second round matchup coming up, what specific message are you delivering to your players this week to ensure they maintain a high level of focus and avoid complacency?
I don't know about, there's nothing for us to be complacent about, really. It's week 11, right? We want to extend our season each and every week, all right, moving forward. So it's just win or go home. And so, we got to give our best efforts. We had a good run there for a while. We had won 6 in a row. We were playing elite football and, ran into the injury bug a little bit. Guys were getting tired. And then we ran into a couple of bugs off horizon, and Notre Dame played well in those games or whatever, and we just didn't do enough to win those games. Those games are behind us now, and we're just focusing on the games that we were to play. Last night was the first one. Starting the playoff, we didn't want to bye because we didn't feel like we played particularly great down the stretch, and so we wanted to get on the field as soon as possible. We didn't want to sit around and wait, even if it meant resting. We wanted to play and be active this week. I think it was good for us. It was good to get back on the winning ways. Most importantly, it was good to just play and execute at a high level. And, we're excited about playing Cactus this coming week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Coach, it's Javier. You mentioned that you guys play Cactus next week. I mean, they're the 8th seed. They went 8-2 this season, had a really good season. How do you feel about the matchup, and how do you feel your team's prepared going into this game?
Yeah, I hadn't really looked at it much. My daughter's about to have a baby here in the next 30 minutes. And so really I kind of focus on my family right now as far as making sure that she's okay in the operating room, and we deliver our second grandbaby nice and healthy. And then once that's kind of taken care of, I'll turn my focus to Cactus. I know my staff's going to start working on them here in the next couple of hours. But we played them 3 years in a row. We're 3-0 against them over the last 3 years. And so the matchup would be, unless they change their MO, we like where we're at. They're well coached. They're always going to play good on defense, right? And it's going to be a challenge for sure because, when you're in the playoffs, everybody can win games now. So we'll put together the correct game plan, whatever, get our guys ready and energized to play and to go on a road and see if we can win a ball game next week.
Wow. Yeah. Congrats on your daughter having a baby. That's super exciting. It's really, really nice of you to join us here this morning. Question for you. So you've built a culture at Desert Mountain, emphasizing discipline and competitiveness, with Gilbert fighting hard to avoid a shutout in the second half. How do you evaluate your team's response under pressure in those moments? And what did that performance show you about your team's depth statistically? I mean, Easton Connor had a great game. What can you say about that?
Yeah, Easton is one of the best 2 minutes on Hamilton. And I don't like to classify him as just a 5A player, but we play in the 5A conference, and I would say that I haven't seen 2028 class of kid that performs better on Friday nights than him. He plays special teams. He touches the ball on offense. He's electric. He can catch it. He can run it. The first guy very rarely ever tackles him or has even a shot to tackle him. He's got breakaway speed. He runs with physicality and behind his pad. On defense, he makes plays in space. I think he had a sack last night or whatnot. So, he's done a phenomenal job. He should get some Player of the Year consideration in 5A. In particular, our own section. I know we have some talented players, but he should get some consideration for that. And then, we started the game fast. We had some explosive plays up we wanted to have on offense. Anytime you have explosive plays, and then you force the other team to turn over the ball. I think we had 2 interceptions for touchdowns. We forced 4 total turnovers. We got out to the quarterback a little bit. So I think when we can do those things, teams 1 minute on Hamilton, the game versus us like they have the last couple of weeks, and try to play a different brand of football that we're just not accustomed to playing.
Yeah.
But I think if we do the things that we're capable of doing, especially early in the game, I don't see that many teams that can really beat us.
Hey, Coach, I am so excited. First of all, it's Vince again. I'm really excited about the opportunities that you have in the postseason. And I know that we are out of time and looking forward to circling back next week. I just have one question. We literally have 10 seconds. When I was on the sideline last night, I ran into an old friend of yours by the name of Vince Amy, a D-line coach at ASU. Obviously, you know the guy. We know the guy. He's an old friend of mine from going back years and years. But he said his main mission last night, he was watching some kids, but his main mission was to try and get Conrad Hamilton to smile. Was he successful?
A lot, smiling right now.
Hamilton's daughter is having her second kid right now in the hospital.
I mean, a smile, just because,
Yeah.
I don't know, man, it was like being at the
Delivered today.
you know what I mean? You're competing your tail off, and you want
Hey.
the kids to compete and give everything.
Hey, Coach.
Kind of hard. Well,
I don't know if I could say this on air, but it turns out that apparently there's a new addition coming into your family here. Coach, do you want to share that real quickly?
yeah, I just talked about, she hasn't come into the world yet, but
Yeah.
we're scheduled for a C-section, which for my daughter here in about 9:30 this morning.
Okay. And you still made your segment. You talk about dedication. That is exciting. Coach, thank you so much. Get to the hospital, for gosh sakes. But we'll talk to you next week. Coach, good luck and congratulations. You are a blessed man, in addition to the family as well, and everything else that's happening for you. And we are just excited for you. And we'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate
All right.
it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Coach Conrad Hamilton. All right, Corey, take it away.
As the regular season wraps up, a handful of undefeated Arizona
All clear, he's all set.
are preparing to make their
Are
mark
either
in
of
the
you guys
state
working
playoffs.
tonight?
From 1A to
No.
6A,
Do one of you guys
records are
want to
rare,
run a
and
camera
they're about
at
to
Coronado
major impact on the
for
brackets
football
in
game
the
at
state.
7 o'clock?
In 6A, top programs like Liberty and
I probably
Centennial have
could.
dominated
Are you sure?
both sides of the ball,
You do it?
entering the playoffs
Yeah.
as heavy
Okay,
favorites.
and you're,
Their
but you're
following
not, you
records
weren't
put them
originally
firmly
scheduled.
in
It'll be
line for
easy.
top
Just
six.
show up.
Yeah.
It's with the NFHS crew in their stadium. It's a semifinal football game. It pays. So, okay, all right. Let me let them know. And the NFHS just called me. So,
Yeah.
oh, tonight's game is at 6, so you got to be there at 5. Is that cool? Coronado High.
Yeah,
I'll send you.
I prefer the game starts earlier. The
Okay.
game starts at 6, be there at 5.
Okay.
And then for some reason, I keep lagging out of the stream, so it keeps putting me in backstage. I don't know.
Oh,
why.
that's weird.
It keeps saying reload, and then it kicks me
These
out.
divisions are known for playoff upsets, but the teams sitting at the top believe
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating a platform to promote young people in extracurricular activities and community outreach. If you are interested in partnering up with the Varsity Sports Show, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or call or text us at 480-779-9437. The Varsity Sports Show, Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you.
The KDUS AM 1060 app for your chance to win today.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS Arizona. This is Javier Delgado with Adam Maggard and Vince DeLisio in studio. So we're going to talk about a little ASU football. So, me and Adam, both ASU students, are very tapped into ASU football. On a bye week this week, but they do play West Virginia next week. ASU is 6th in the Big 12 right now, kind of in a weird spot. We just lost Sam Levitt for the season. Got Jeff Sims taking over, just had a really good game last week. Adam, can you tell me about that a little bit?
Yeah, Levitt's a huge loss for the Devils, but Jeff Sims, I believe he was named Big 12 Player of the Week. I saw Kenny Dillingham's interview about that. He was first game against Utah. Everyone was kind of calling for him to leave ASU, but then he proved all the haters wrong this last game, put up some great stats. I believe he had 200 yards of rushing or something on top of a decent amount of passing yards. He had a good game. So for the ASU, it's just going to be neck and up. They still are in contention, hypothetically, for the playoffs or the Big 12 championship. All they need is BYU to win out and ASU to win out, as well as Houston and Cincinnati, I believe, need to drop one game. But it's not over for the Devils, so keep your hopes up. Still alive this next week. Do you know who we play, Javier?
Yeah, we play West Virginia next week. And yeah, like you said, Jeff Sims, I just pulled up the stats. He had 228 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns as the quarterback off 29 carries. That's insane. I think he actually got national honors last week.
Yeah.
Not just Big 12. So that's really impressive, especially for Sims. And I believe it's a 5th or 6th year man. Decided to stay at ASU, knew he was going to be the backup. Levitt obviously going to be a draft pick one day. So just very impressive game. How do you feel about going into that game against West Virginia next week? ASU has a bye week next week, time to rest some injuries. So West Virginia next up.
Yeah, it'll be a major test for the Devils for sure, especially with the high hopes they had coming into the season. A lot of expectations to perform and to get the win and keep the hopes alive. But it's hard without Scadaboo, and it's especially hard without our quarterback Sam Levitt. But maybe we get Tyson back. Hopefully this bye week is enough for him to rehab a little bit. But it's definitely gonna be about depth. And ASU is going to have to lean heavily on the run game, using guys like a Raleek Brown and Udo to break down the defense. And, of course, they're going to use Jeff Sims' legs. But just getting the run established will help ASU and allow Jeff Sims to maybe take some shots down the field throughout the game.
Yeah, like you said, hopefully we can get Jordan Tyson back, the star wide receiver. He's projected to be the first receiver taken in the next NFL draft. we can tell how different the offense looks without him. And when we saw last season in the college football playoffs, we missed him in that game against Texas, also in the Big 12 championship. So, yeah, he's definitely a huge X factor. Hoping we can get him back against West Virginia, get Sims another weapon on the outside.
Yeah, and as the football team deals with a tough injury, ASU did have a nice comeback last night on the ice in a thriller, down 3-0 in the first period for ASU hockey, eventually coming back in the third period, down 2-3 with only 4 minutes to go. They hit a game-tying shot, making it 3-3, and then in a shootout, ASU won last night against I believe, it was Colorado College, who was the only undefeated team left in D1 hockey. So it was a big win for the Devils last night. It was fueled by players like Cruz Lucius, Jack Beck, and Bennett Schmick. Each netted a goal, and Schmick scored the equalizer with just 1:09 left in the third period. I had a friend at the game last night who left with just 3 minutes to go while ASU was down 2-3. He was very upset with himself. He was like, of course I leave. And then ASU comes back. Great game. Super exciting for the Devils, a sport that ASU does pretty good in. And it's good to see them continuing their success.
Yeah, I'll admit I haven't been too tapped into ASU hockey, but I am aware that we have at ASU, and the game you just talked about sounded very exciting. Do you know who they played against yesterday?
It was Colorado College. I believe we've split our series with Denver and Penn State. Maybe it wasn't Denver, but I know we beat Penn State once. We've had a really hard schedule to start the season. Right now, our record is 3-5-1, but that doesn't really show how good our team is because we're in the NCHC, which gives ASU highly competitive games pretty much every week. So the Devils, the record does not quite reflect how good of a team we are.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you on that. A lot of the times, teams' records do not reflect how they play. And like you said, I mean, they've played Denver, Penn State, so they definitely have played some top talent so far. And I guess it's going to be exciting to see what ASU hockey can do for the rest of the season, as well as the other ASU sports.
Yeah, it should be exciting. Yeah, it's been an interesting season for ASU sports, but we're just praying that one of them can maybe give us a little bit of excitement and keep us happy, you know, especially after Devils football last year. That was a exciting season.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have some more interesting topics. First off, we're going to have Marla Mundo from UNLV. Take it away, Corey.
Perfect. Guys.
All right. Do we have any time on the back end, or will this take us to break?
We'll go to break on this one.
Perfect. Okay. Nice job, you guys. All right, so coming back, we'll have Coach Kelly. So, Adam, you want to bring us back?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, there you go.
To join the Mountain West Conference this winter as a
All right, you guys are in stride.
GCU will
Perfect.
compete in 17 sports in the Mountain West. GCU was originally slated to join the Mountain West Conference on
Yeah.
July 1st, 2026, but are joining a year early. Commissioner Gloria Navarez said, in a time when the student athlete experience is of utmost importance, we felt it was in the best interest to allow them to compete for conference championships and the NCAA postseason immediately. For this season and this season only, the Mountain West Conference will have 14 teams. Those teams are Air Force, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Grand Canyon, Nevada, New Mexico, San Diego State, San Jose State, UNLV, Utah State, and Wyoming. 5 teams are set to lead the
And you're on
Mountain
your
West for
laptop.
the
That's
Pac-12
strange.
next year.
Yeah.
Those teams are Boise State, Fresno State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Utah State. Northern Illinois University, UC Davis, UTEP are joining the Mountain West Conference in 2026, as well as Hawaii as a full-time member. The Mountain West Conference is due for a shakeup. Marla Mundo with the Varsity Sports Show signing out. Hello, I'm Tomas Perez reporting with the Varsity Sports Show. You're listening to the Catholic School Sports Report, where faith meets athletics. Today we're featuring the Notre Dame Preparatory Saints and their girls basketball head coach, who shared how the program reflects the school's Catholic mission through teamwork, character, and faith.
Yeah, I was like this one. Yeah. That's funny.
At Notre Dame Prep, athletics are an extension of the school's Catholic mission, forming a whole person, mind, body, and spirit. Coach says the girls' basketball team focuses on humility, integrity, and servant leadership. Success isn't just about wins and losses, but about honoring God through effort, attitude, and the way players treat one another. The Notre Dame Prep athletic community is built on the strong relationships and shared values. Coaches, athletes, and families come together as one, supporting each other with pride and purpose. The school promotes equal recognition for all sports and holds college game days to build excitement and unity across campus. Faith is at the heart of the girls' basketball program. The team begins and ends practices with prayer, reflects on scripture, and connects faith to their goals. Coaches lead by example, showing grace in adversity and humility in victory. Coach says the parents, alumni, and parish community are a big part of the team's strength, providing encouragement, volunteering, and modeling the same values the players strive to live out. What expresses her most this season is the players' leadership and resilience. They play with faith, discipline, and gratitude, growing not just as athletes, but as young women of character. At Notre Dame Prep, girls basketball is more than a game. It's a reflection of faith, family, and purpose in action. Reporting in Varsity Sports Show, I'm Tomas Perez.
This is Gregory Graves with the Varsity Sports Show, and the wait is over. Arizona high school basketball is back. From the desert heat to the mountain towns, from Phoenix to Tucson, Gilbert to Flagstaff, the gyms are lighting up and the rivalries are heating up. The state is loaded with talent. The powerhouses are reloaded. Programs like Perry, Millennium, Sunny Slope, and Basha, ready to prove why they run the valley. Down south, South Point Catholic and Catalina Foothills are chasing banners. And up north, Flagstaff and the Bradshaw Mountain bring that toughness every single night. And don't sleep on the smaller schools. Valley Christian, Scottsdale Christian, Holbrook, St. Mary's, they've got fire too. Every region, every division, every team's got something to.
There might only be one camera at this. Well, it's semifinal game. It'll probably be two cameras, but when you get there, they'll tell you. I mean, you're getting there a half hour before kickoff. Just give yourself enough time to park. Yeah. Since they kick off at 6.
School pride, every dunk, every three, every buzzer beater, it just means something. Because here, basketball isn't just a game. It's an Arizona basketball. The energy hits different, the rivalries run deep, and every night a new name is born under those Friday night lights. Get ready for the crowds, get ready for the highlights, and get ready for the passion that only Arizona hoops bring. This winter, Arizona basketball runs the state. This is Arizona high school basketball, and the season starts now. A time like no other where players get to highlight their talents on the hardwood. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Gregory Graves reporting.
Look for live updates and all the KDUS content you love on our socials. Just search KDUS AM 1060 on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok.
Hello, sports fans. This is Dick Stockton, and you are listening to Arizona's home of youth, high school, college, and you. The Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
The Varsity Sports Show is proud to continue our partnership with the Campus of Champions, Mountain View High School. Tune in for championship caliber competition, boys and girls sports, featured on the Varsity Sports Show. Amazing kids, amazing parents, amazing coaches, and amazing faculty. Also home of the world-famous Mike and Joe Show. It's the Mountain View Toros on the Varsity Sports Show. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native
born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. Virginia
Coach Kelly is all set for you guys.
Call 602-788-2008, located off of Cave Creek Road, just north of the 101 in North.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008, located off of Cave Creek Road, just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, live weekday.
All right, coming back.
Yeah. Right here. KDUS AM 1060.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. My name is Adam Magger, joined in studio by Vince Delicio and Javier Delgado. And we are joined on the line by Coach Kelly of the Saguaro SaberCats. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
So first question for you, Coach. Congrats on the 56-28 victory. What in particular did your team do well to put that many points up on the board? And what did you ask of them to improve after early drives or the first quarter?
Yeah, I think you finished it off right there at the end there. We just wanted to start fast. You know, that's one of the things I emphasized before the game, make some more explosive plays at the beginning of the game to help us go through the game and continue that momentum. And I think we battled through that. Shadow Ridge, they didn't stop fighting the entire game. We knew coming out in the second half that, if we didn't score and get a turnover or two in the second half, it was going to be a close game. And our guys stepped up to the challenge and they made the plays when they need to be made. And they got the job done. I'm just super proud of the way we finished out the regular season and the way our seniors went out there and played their hearts out, not just this game, but the entire season and throughout the 4 years here at Saguaro.
Hey, Coach, it's Javier. Congrats on the senior night win. I was actually at your guys' game last night. I was doing the color commentating. I got to talk to you before the game. Question for you. You guys have two very talented quarterbacks on your roster, Ashton Pinnell, Marcel Jones, both with the D1 offers. How do you kind of navigate the game, getting both of them series, getting them both involved in the offense and keeping your guys' flow?
Yeah, it's an extremely hard task to manage that, especially when you have two great talents that, their aspects are two totally different. And when it comes down to, for us, it comes down to the flow of the game, and having to get, Ashton came in midway through the season, and Marcel, who's been here for a while, and having a change of offensive coordinators, it made it extremely hard. But I think, what you guys saw last night is what you would see if we have an opportunity to continue to play on as we have more time in this season with that type of dynamic of playing both of those guys and playing out both of their talents. Because it does create a lot of problems on the other side of the ball against the defense. I'm a defensive guy, and if I wouldn't have a two quarterback system I was playing against, it would be a nightmare playing against us if managed the right way. And I think our coaches and Coach Ryan Ramirez, who stepped up to the challenge of becoming an offensive coordinator midway through the season, I think if we have a little bit more time it'll be a great dynamic because of how those two are managing each other, both quarterbacks, and playing off each other in the offense that Coach Ryan installed.
And Coach, offense is definitely the headline from last night, putting up 56 points. But were there any defensive or special team habits that you saw in yesterday's game that give you confidence heading into the next phase of the season?
Yeah. We had a defensive touchdown. We almost had two defensive touchdowns. One got called back. We had a turnover, right there. But as they were driving, going to the red zone, those are big deals for us. Having three turnovers in a game, almost four, a touchdown, and honestly, we haven't had any turnovers in the last 3 games for us, and that's tough to win games that way.
and we happened to pull out 3 turnovers last night, almost 4. And then on special teams, I mean, one of our goals is always to start the offense average inside the 28-yard line. And I want to say we were inside the 24-yard line almost all night. With our kickoff team flying down there making plays. You know, so there's a lot of individual efforts, but there's a lot of team efforts across the board, both offense, defense, and special teams. You know, those 2 phases, I mean, it makes a huge difference in the game. It allows our offense to just flow the way it flowed. And I mean, when our defense is flying around the way they did last night in special teams, I mean, you get the outcome that you get. I mean, that was no slouch, rich team. You know, they're top.
Minutes on coach.
They're well coached. I mean, I know every single one of the coaches on their staff, and that was a good, great, battle-rich team. But our guys just came out to play last night, and it was just fun to watch from my standpoint, and it was great.
No, absolutely. You love when all phases of the game are clicking, and special teams does end up playing a pretty big role. So it's a good night.
It was.
And we really appreciate you being here, but we're going to head to a break. That was Coach Kelly from Saguaro High School. Coach, congrats on the win last night. Good luck next season. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again shortly.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
And take it away.
Hi, my name is Jacob Noldy, and I'm here with the Varsity Sports Show and the NFL. All clear, guys. Just halfway done, and what if we're going to come back also after this with 1 minute for you to transition.
All right, we got 1 minute.
I'm going to discuss all that here today. The season began with a spit in the face by Jalen Carter and a win by the Eagles over the
Yeah, but we're going to go to break. So who wants to
night,
transition us into the break?
Things to come this season.
Coming up after the break, we have
a team that had no business being one of the best offenses in the league, yet are now 7-2 on the season and are number 1 in the AFC standings as of today.
No, that's Jacob Nold right now. We're going to come after those segments are over. We're going to have a minute. In fact, let me put in.
Over to the NFC, where Baker Mayfield received MVP chance for a few weeks, as well as an NFC North that is going to come down to the wire. Mayfield is already almost at 2,000 passing yards through just 8 games, as well as 13 touchdowns to go.
Coming up after the break.
And a 6-2 record so far for the Buccaneers.
Who's coming up after the break?
NFC North, all the teams at this point are 500 or over, and are all separated by at least 1 game.
So who wants? Who can transition us into the break? Take us into the break. All right.
In the East, you have the Eagles, who are still doing great despite Saquon not being the Saquon from last year. For the Cowboys, however, we all know they traded Micah Parsons going to the
big win last night.
At the point of having one of the best offenses led by Dak Prescott, but one of the worst defenses as well in football. Overall, this season has been described by many as a blast from the past. All the teams dominating the AFC were all those who used to dominate decades ago. One of those teams includes the Broncos, who are 7-2 on the season and are looking for their first AFC West title since 2015 when they won the Super Bowl. Look forward to another half of football and be ready for the unthinkable. Once again, for the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Jacob Noldy reporting.
Welcome to playoff football, where the games mean just a little bit more. Seniors fighting to play one more game, underdogs looking to make a name for themselves, and championship contenders looking to back up all of the hype they've gotten in the regular season. Look to bracket being out for 4A and 5A at the time of recording.
Or we'll be right back after the break here on the Varsity Sports Show. That's all. If you do that, and he'll know.
Starting in 4A, I feel this will be a rematch of what we saw last week in Arcadia and Snowflake. Both teams entered undefeated, and the Titans won 32-22 on Halloween night. These two teams are clearly the class of 4A. Both teams beat Bradshaw Mountain, who's the 3 seed, and Combs, who's the 5 seed. I feel pretty confident in locking in Snowflake and Arcadia. In 5A, a highly competitive conference, I think we'll get a matchup of Desert Edge, the 5th-ranked team in the state, by the way, versus Desert View. Desert Edge has to go through a gauntlet in the later rounds on their side of the bracket, potentially meeting Desert Mountain and Horizon. Meanwhile, Desert View seems to have an easier path on its side of the bracket, so I could see a matchup of 2 undefeated squads headlining the 5A state title game. Now, as of recording, we don't know the 6A and open brackets, so these will be educated guesses. I'd assume we see some combination of Brophy, ALA Queen Creek, and Southland Catholic. For the Open, this one's a little easier to predict. I believe as it stands, we'll see Hamilton and Liberty face off in the championship game. For a rapid-fire prediction of winners, Arcadia, Desert Edge, Brophy, and Liberty. With Varsity Sports, I'm Keaton Thomas.
Hey everyone, welcome to KDUS AM 1060 on the Varsity Sports Show in Arizona. My name is Ethan Troll from the Arizona State University. The Mesa Jackrabbits are currently 5-4, already off to a better season than the last under new head coach Jeremy Hathcock. Hathcock brought Verado High School to the 5A semifinal last season, losing to Desert Edge unfortunately, but had a great season overall. The Jackrabbits last season had a good offense, scoring just above 300 total points, but allowed 315 all season and finishing 4-6. Hathcock came into the program with the message of progression. With their 5-4 record and ranked 18th in the state, they will have a chance at the play-in and face Westwood High School this Friday to secure a spot. The Jackrabbits have a solid chance too, considering that the defense is significantly better, giving up only 21 points per game, securing 12 sacks, 19 interceptions, 6 fumble recoveries, 2 block punts, and a block field.
You guys are on in 30 seconds. We'll have a 1-minute transition.
But have fought extremely hard throughout the season, according to Mesa fans. There's only one more week of high school football left of the regular season.
Yeah, we'll have a minute
Rabbits
to get it out, and then we go to break. So you don't want to leave us too soon, but, you know, take your time.
This segment of the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
You got a minute, so whatever you do.
And welcome back. Coming up after the break, we'll hear from Coach Jason Jewell on Brophy's big win last night. We'll be back on the Varsity Sports Show after the break. But before then, let's talk about some ASU news, a little bit of that. We have an interesting development. Former ASU basketball player, I believe it was BJ Freeman. Is that correct, Javier?
Yes.
He was banned from the NCAA over a betting scandal.
We'll talk more about that after the break. We'll be right back. We need much more time to talk about something like that. I mean, it's you don't want to go into a topic with a minute left. You know, you had 45 seconds, but that's like a 5-minute topic. So, yeah. All right, that's cool. Yeah. All right. Javier, you're up.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
My name is Javier Delgado, and I'm a senior at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Arizona State University. I can't wait to get started at the Varsity Sports Show and have a fun fall 2025 semester. I'm very excited and thrilled to get to work and hear my love for sports.
It's funny hearing yourself, isn't it? Yeah. You like that, a little drama.
With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils.
Whose turn is it? Whoever's turn it is, I don't care.
Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Border.
No, well, who brought us in last time?
674-384.
You're up.
The Angry
Yeah,
Crab
you're up.
Shack
You
in
welcome,
Tempe.
Coach.
Come ready to eat. APAC is your one-stop source for all your automotive and heavy-duty.
Yeah, you can go down.
Parts, supplies, and equipment. They're family-owned.
Yeah, we got about 2 minutes.
Auto AC needs since 1982. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment, APAC has you covered. Call APAC, AAPAK, the AC experts at 602-2.
Coach Jewell is all set for you.
Awesome.
And ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase.
Coach, good man.
Coach Jules, a good dude.
My name is Blessing Frazier. I'm a junior studying sports journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, and I'm so excited to join the Varsity Sports Show this fall of 2025. I can't wait to share my love of journalism with you all.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation,
All right.
a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
And July.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. This is Javier Delgado with Adam Maggard and Misty Alicio in studio. We are joined by Brophy Broncos football head coach Jason Jewell. Coach, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. Anytime you can get a big win like we had last night and head into the playoffs, man, you got to feel great. You got to celebrate those days.
I got to break in here. Coach, it's Vince here. Was Steve Campbell, did he express any kind of emotion after the game? Like, was he mad? Did he talk?
I mean, Steve's mad all the time.
Does his dad still help out over there? Because his dad's a pretty intense guy.
Actually, I think his father passed away
a
couple years ago.
Oh, boy.
But Steve and I are good friends, and we go way back. And he's a fantastic football coach. I respect the heck out of him. Our team's been really battled the 3 times we've played since I've been the head coach of Brophy. And man, I was expecting that too last night. I was not expecting the outcome necessarily what happened. But I will say I am proud of our boys. That's been a football game as we've played in the 7 years that we've been here as staff at Brophy.
I have a Campbell Senior story really quick, if you'll just indulge me for a second, because Steve Campbell's dad was a legend high school football coach, and he would bust his son's chops to no end about anything and everything, about coaching, about Steve was a thin, very slender guy. He was a quarterback in college, obviously, as you know, and then through time, as we get into coaching and whatnot, and his dad would just bust his chops about everything, and he was a very, very good football coach. Didn't cut his son any slack. So that I am sorry to hear that. He was a great coach. But Coach, focusing on last night's win, I'm going to turn it over to Adam. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, Coach, 56-28 win is a strong statement. Were there any key moments that you felt momentum shifted in your favor, and how does your team capitalize from that point on?
Yeah, I think, key moments early. We got the ball, went out and scored, and then stopped them. We're sitting here talking as a staff actually right now. I don't think there was a single punt in the game last night, which is pretty crazy. Another big one was we had just scored, and we were sort of attempting a reverse on their kickoff and coughed the ball up, and we recovered it and scored. So I think that was a big shift right there, a big 14-point swing for us. To in the second half, it was a big deal.
Hey, Coach, back to Javier. So, yeah, like you said, big win heading into the playoffs. You guys finished the season on a 2-game winning streak. I mean, you guys are starting to catch some heat. How do you feel like that momentum is going to carry into the playoffs, and what do you expect from you guys?
Well, I told our kids yesterday, you want to play meaningful football games in November. So we were playing the region championship last night. So obviously that's very, very meaningful. Playing for a home playoff game last night, huge. It's a big deal for our community and for our student body. Big deal. So now we're going to the first round of playoffs. We made the Opens for the first time. That's been a goal of ours since we got here. We've been close several other times and not gotten in. So that's another goal accomplished. So big night last night all around. And excited to see when the playoff selection show is about to air here in a little bit. See who we play, and again, more meaningful football games in November.
I know you guys have quite a few weapons on your team. Is there any players that's performance really stood out last night that helped propel you guys to such a good victory? And the offense was obviously electric, scoring 56 points. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, last night we were great, and a breakout performance from Donovan McNabb Jr. had his best day, best performance in a Bronco uniform. Was nice to see. We have a bunch of other weapons that they get a lot of shout outs all the time with Case and Devin and Dalen and Harrison. But I really think our offensive line, we're starting 2 freshmen, 5 brand new starters on that group that are coming together. We didn't allow a sack last night and did a nice job. So I'll give a shout out to the big guys up front on the offensive line.
Yeah, Coach, like you mentioned, you probably hear about them all the time, quarterback Case Vanden Bosch and wide receiver Devin Fitzgerald. How do you feel like their connection has kind of helped this team throughout the season to keep you guys afloat, especially with, like you said, some new starters on the offensive line and kind of even that momentum going?
Yeah, we did those two, early on because Dalen Sharper was out with dealing with a hamstring injury. Now he's back healthy, so it adds another dimension to our offense. So, but Case is voted team captain by his peers for a reason, and we expect a lot out of him. And he's a dual threat quarterback, and showed that last night. Threw a couple touchdowns, had a couple runnings, so did a nice job.
Yeah, I know you kind of already answered this question, but just good win last night. Is there anything that you take away from that game and look to use and take away into your first going into the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest key for us and for all football teams, right, is you can't win football games. It's very tough to win football games if you turn the ball over. So we did not turn the ball over last night, and we forced 3 turnovers. That's a huge deal. So, and I talked to our kids yesterday that when you get to this time of the year and the mistakes are magnified, if you turn the ball over, you make one little mistake, if you end up sending you home for the season. So we got to make sure we take care of the football. So I think that's the biggest thing we take away from last night. And it was the first time,
1 minute on coach,
complete game, first to fourth quarter in all 3 phases. And our boys did a nice job. Really proud of them for that.
Yeah, Coach, we really appreciate you joining us on the show this morning, and we wish you good luck going into the playoffs.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. Yeah, going to be very exciting seeing
with the World Series and the Major League Baseball season now officially over.
Okay, we're muted. He sensed there was some dead air, so he went right to it. But that's fine. That's good.
For the 2026 MLB
all right.
free agency, top names.
Corey, we gonna have any time at the end?
Let me see here. Yes, it will actually.
Hitters out.
We'll have for you about 2 minutes.
Pitchers Framber Valdez, Dylan Cease, and Ranger Suarez also lead a solid starting pitching class. Many of the most prominent free agents heading into the 2025-2026 offseason are coming off deals with opt-out clauses they exercised, including Alex Bregman, Pete Alonso, and Edwin Diaz. The class also features international standout from Japan, Murataka Murakami.
What's that?
We will have to wait and see.
No, he's at 10:30. So there's a pre-recorded one. There's a segment that I did a couple of years ago called Two Guys from Canada Driving. And so I'm bringing that one back. And that was pre-recorded. It's funny. It's good stuff.
So are you going to take that back?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll bring it back.
NASCAR season, it came down to 4 drivers: Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Chase Briscoe. Denny Hamlin was dominating, looking unstoppable, leading for 208 out of the 319 laps.
Because he was waiting for you to pitch it to him, but when you didn't, he just jumped in and started it. Yeah.
Flip the script. When the dust settled, it was Kyle Larson who took home his second NASCAR Cup Series championship, denying Hamlin of his elusive first title. Ryan Blaney took home the checkered flag and won the race, but
Yes.
Larson won the championship by finishing ahead of the other contenders. The 2025 finale was one for the history books. Larson completed one of the biggest comebacks in the championship's history, winning the championship despite not leading for a single lap during the race, while another contender did. Larson was the only previous champion out of the final four drivers.
I know.
Exactly what it takes to secure another. However, a huge shift in the landscape is on its way for NASCAR. NASCAR announced that this year would be the final year Phoenix Raceway played host to the final race of the year.
I probably wouldn't have done the same.
The sport is now going into a rotation model. Starting in 2026, the finale will move to Homestead Miami Speedway and then travel to a new track each year, keeping every season ender fresh and unpredictable. This doesn't mean
Verizon had a bye.
Yeah. Never see a championship.
Yeah, you should see who they play if you check the bracket, because that'll be good information to have to ask Coach about.
Varsity Sports Show. My name.
Yes, Notre Dame. Yeah, I do that.
That's right.
The NFL season has been in full swing for 2 months now, as Week 9 just wrapped up on Monday. And so far, it has been one of the most interesting seasons, to say the least. From an unexpected MVP race to new teams standing out, this year has been incredible. Normally in the NFL, there are a few teams that stand out above the rest throughout the early part of the season. Whether it be record-wise or just talent-wise, it happens almost every year. But not this year. This is the most wide open it feels like the NFL has been in a long time, as there are 9 teams with 2 losses, and the best record being 7-2. That 7-2 record has been achieved by the Colts, Patriots, and Broncos, 3 teams that most fans wouldn't have predicted to be doing this well. The Colts, led by Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, have taken the league by storm, as the offense has been unstoppable early on. The Patriots are led by second
You guys back on in 30 seconds.
man, and head coach Mike Vrabel, who has made a huge difference in Foxborough. Lastly, the Broncos are led by a dominant defense that has 12 more sacks than the nearest team. While the NFL has so many new and up-and-coming players, a lot of the older veterans have made sure that they get their spot in the light as well. Matthew Stafford has had an incredible start to the season, cementing himself in the MVP race, along with Joe Flacco, who has proven again that age is just a number. Hopefully, the NFL season continues to provide us with great moments and a lot of entertainment the rest of the way. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Matthew.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS Arizona. Vince Delicio, Adam Maggard, and Javier Delgado in studio. And coming up after the break, we have a segment of some old friends but that's what this show is about. It's about the old and new friends. But when we come back, we've got this segment that we are bringing back that we tried out about 3 years ago. We believe it's fitting now because of all that's going on in travel with the air traffic controller shortage and the federal shutdown. We got this segment called Two Guys from Canada Driving. It's Elon and Tony, and it's pretty funny. But anyway, don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around, come back. I think you're gonna like it. It's fun. All right, we'll be right back after the break. Go Varsity.
And the DMS and more on the Dan Patrick Show weekdays from 6 to
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
Dental services 2788.
APAC is your one-stop source for all your automotive and heavy-duty air conditioning parts, supplies, and equipment. They're family-owned and have been the Valley's go-to for all your auto AC needs since 1982. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment, APAC has you covered. Call APAC, AA-PAK, the AC experts at 602-254-1116 and ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase.
Live. Don't miss a play. Don't miss a moment. Hit that follow button now and stay ahead of the game.
James Hub West, bringing the best analysis of the NFL, NBA, and more every other Monday night.
Where you're going? No, it's a 1A semifinal high school football game. Tony and Elon, and we called this segment when we first did it 3 years ago, two guys from Canada driving, because they took a driving trip on historic Route 66, but they travel all over the world. These guys are like best friends. They're a regular modern day odd couple from Canada. So we have with us Tony of half of the Elon and Tony team, two guys from Canada driving, and he's gonna talk a little bit about what's going on, what they have coming up, and what they've been up to. So Tony, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
Good. It's been a few years since we've done this, and it was fun when we kind of explored this new segment, trying to bring some education to our audience to get people to learn about Canadians and your driving habits and your travel habits. What makes you different than Americans?
Oh, well, you're putting me on the spot there. Not much. I guess we're all alike in that sense. And when it comes to travel, it seems that probably the Americans seem to travel more, because every time we hit the American airports, they're just jammed. Flights are full. And as we usually travel standby, it becomes more and more hard for us to get a seat on the flight.
Yeah.
So, yes, how we spoke last, we were headed Route 66. That was about a year, no, actually more than that. But since that trip, Elon and myself, we went to Taipei in Taiwan.
Yeah.
And now we're planning this weekend. We're leaving for, we're going to be going to Seoul, South Korea, and then in where we going there, Bangkok, Thailand.
Now, when you guys, this week was 3 years ago, you did historic Route 66, and you landed in Albuquerque from Quebec, and you rented a car, you destroyed the car on some of the roads here in Arizona, and you ended up in Santa Monica, and then turned around and went back. How was that experience? Because you guys are used to driving on the left-hand side of the road, right?
On the right hand side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not in Cambodia. It's not. But no, we definitely the driver's seat is on the left-hand side of the vehicle.
Okay.
And we also drive on the right.
Yeah.
Does what it wants to do at this pace. So that's a little nerve-wracking that once in a while, but we overcome that. And that's not a problem, because we're such good friends. It's a long time that these things will overcome. What are you planning on doing in Bangkok? And does it involve driving? Because you guys, again, are two guys from Canada driving.
Right. But the plan for this trip
Big music enthusiasts, and obviously there's been a lot of great Canadian musical artists, recording artists. I mean, you got Celine Dion, Celine Dion, Bryan Adams, more Celine Dion. What else you got from Canada?
we definitely got Celine Dion, a little more Celine Dion. But
Hey, Justin Bieber, yes. Look here.
And then we have my favorite for sure is either Rush or then we have Tom Cochran,
Yes.
writer.
Well, good stuff, and hopefully going to do some good eating as well while you're away. I don't know what type of food they have in Bangkok, but yeah.
Well, yeah, we hope. I did not do my research, but I'm sure we're going to have some eggnog or.
Lot to talk about for next week's show. From two guys from Canada driving is Elon and Tony, although today minus Elon. Thanks, Tony, for joining us, and good luck on your trip.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on your show, and we will touch base within the next 4 or 5 days.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Dickmans reporting for Varsity Sports Show. I'm a student athlete at the Arizona State University, and I play for the ASU women's water polo team. The upcoming weeks, I'd like to introduce you to the sport and my team, and hopefully make you enthusiastic to come watch us play this spring.
And then when this is all done, you'll still have a
rules. So imagine this from you.
Okay, so for that, anything positive going on that we can talk about?
Championship or not. The game is tied. Your body feels tired from
Anything going on with Coach Kenny these days? Anything?
Drains deep into your body, and you rarely push past the lactic acid that are brought on. This is your last game of the weekend, the fourth you played. People around you are screaming, splashing water. Somebody is coming to take you down in the water, and you have the ball and the opportunity to score. Adrenaline rushes through you. Will you make the goal? Will you make it into the NCAAs? To many of us players, water polo is not just one sport. It's swimming, handball, basketball, all in one, while trying not to drown at the same time. And that's the beauty of it. Making split decisions, tactical wars,
20 and 30 in there playing our rival
every athlete loves. The battle. Thank you for listening. Follow up every week to learn more and to hear more from my other amazing colleagues about all kinds of sports. This is Jasmine Dickmans reporting for Varsity Sports.
Hi, everyone. This is Patrick Cohn with the Varsity Sports Show, bringing you the best that sports has to offer. This week, I'll be doing a recap of the 2025 Major League Baseball World Series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers. The 2025 World Series was certainly an epic battle between the Dodgers and Blue Jays. Both teams were absolutely phenomenal in this series. I cannot tell you the amount of excitement I had watching this series. It was really just phenomenal to see both these teams.
Whose turn is it?
Trying to vie for the World Series.
Okay, so we got 2 minutes. So you guys have 2 minutes. Bring us back. Perfect. And then just be wary of what he's telling you. So when he gets to 30 seconds, you're done. Take us to break. We'll be right back with Coach Tyson Dipmore.
Just been in the starter in Game 6, homer to tie the game, and later on in the game, Dodgers catcher Will Smith hit a go-ahead home run, which ultimately won the game and the series for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It was a
curious to see. I really hope that you guys watching it got the same feelings that I did. It was an incredible series. I really enjoyed watching the Blue Jays and the Dodgers go head-to-head in this series. It was a hard-fought series, and it was just incredible to watch because Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman, along with Shinobi Yamamoto were amazing, as were George Springer, Kevin Gausman, Alan Kirk, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So thank you all so much for listening to this recap, and I will see you all next time.
Arizona State men's and women's basketball struggled last season. That isn't a hot take, but this year they're looking to new directions to hopefully complete the Big Four of ASU sports. Let's first look at what happened last season. For Bobby Hurley's squad, it was a roller coaster of a season. They started hot, winning 8 of their first 9. That only loss being the number 6 Gonzaga. The tail end of the season wasn't favorable for the Devils, and the men's team lost 12 of their last 13 to finish with a record of 13-20. Women's hoops was also a struggle. Under head coach Natasha Adair, the Maroon and Gold went 10-22 and ended their disappointing season, leaving Natasha Adair for duties as head coach and welcoming Molly Miller as their new head coach in the 2020. Now, winter sports are picking back up. Collegiate hockey has already started. And men's
Andrew, that's right.
Yeah. For action. The women are off to a 1-0 start, picking up the win in their season opener against Coppin State, winning 67-53, with senior guard Marley Waschenitz leading the team with 12 points. And their next game tonight, back in Desert Financial Arena against Eastern Washington. Bobby Hurley's squad and the men tipped off Tuesday night to a similar result against Southern Utah, with a no-doubt win with a score of 81-64. Senior guard Anthony Johnson led the team with 17 points, going 6 for 9 from the field. The Sun Devils never trailed in their surefire season opener. Their next opponent, their second game of a 4-game homestand against another Utah team, Utah Tech. That tips off at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Sunday, November 9th. From Varsity Sports Radio Show, Andrew Nero.
And you're live.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. I'm Adam Maggard, joined here with Javier Delgado and Vince Felicio. We talked earlier about ASU hockey and their big win last night, but let's not forget about ASU volleyball, who's put together a miraculous season once again, a record of 20-3, 11-1 in conference, and last night knocking off number 21 BYU. Great season so far for Sun Devils volleyball, who only have a few more games left in the season. Javi.
Yeah, very impressive. Only 3 losses on the season, 23 games in. Like you said, they only lost 1 conference. That was Iowa State. But prior to the Iowa State game, they were actually on a 12-team winning streak, which is very impressive. And after that loss, they blew their last 2 games. Texas second, like I said, 21 ranked BYU. And actually, their next game will be on the November 13th, and they actually play. So a lot to look forward to for this volleyball team throughout the season.
Yeah, I know. I'm definitely looking forward to a rivalry matchup against U of A, go ASU, but I know there's probably some Wildcats fans here, so for the Wildcats fans, go Wildcats. But after the break, we will catch up with Coach Dibmore of the Horizon Huskies. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Take it away, Corey.
Awesome. All right, whose turn is it to bring us back?
I need to remember ASU volleyball again. Yeah,
The KDUS
I know, but I went last night to like the high school volleyball games. It was so entertaining. Like, you were entertaining on a lot of football games.
This Patrick Cohen, and I'm looking forward to working with Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2025 season. I'm currently a 6th-year senior at the University of Arizona.
You didn't go and we had
with my degree in journalism. I hope you, the fans of Varsity Sports Show, tune in all day and every day and listen to the great content Varsity Sports Show is known for. I'm also looking forward to sharing my passion with all of you as I embark on my journey with Varsity Sports Show for the fall 2025 season.
Yeah, I know. I really
APAC is your one-stop shop for all your automotive and heavy-duty air conditioning parts,
Oh
supplies,
God, bro! I turned the game off, and then I see we're coming back. I'm literally driving, watching the game. Oh my God! It's so rough. Yeah, I was like, it's gone. And then Cam's got to do put the team on his back through for a touchdown. Yards gone. It rushed like so many yards.
Arizona State University,
Oh,
majoring in
God.
sports
Cam's gotta
journalism.
do
Over the past few semesters, I've been on a journey from my reporting, storytelling, and on-camera skills. My passion has always been hockey, and I hope to build a career covering the NHL, ideally as a beat writer for the Buffalo Sabres. I'm excited to continue growing as a journalist, integrate my team and dedication to every story I tell. Stay tuned to see my work at the Varsity Show internship.
Big time off.
Join me as I read you
Yeah, I mean, we have
stories and
defensive
updates
guys.
on our
Some
campus.
smaller guys
Where
like
faith,
Tyler
tradition,
Thompson, like
and
a
athletics
senior backup.
Get to be done on KDUS
Yeah, Rising
1060
was fine
AM
for a
Saturdays
while,
9 to 11 during Varsity Sports Show.
But no.
It gets a little crazy when sports too. With Dave USPM 1060 and KDUS 1060 AM.
And July.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. My name is Adam Maggard, joined in studio by Vince Delicio and Javier Delgado, and we are joined on the line by Coach Skidmore of the Horizon Huskies. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
All right, so first question, a little bit of context for people who may not be familiar. The Huskies finished the regular season 8-2 overall, 3-1 in region play, securing a playoff berth and the first round bye. Now, after the first round games have concluded, you guys opened the playoff against Notre Dame Prep, a team you guys are familiar with and had a heated showing with against earlier in the season, ultimately losing 42-41 in triple overtime. How are you guys preparing for the game to hopefully end up on the winning side this time?
I think we're really preparing for a run. We want to be able to have a playoff run. And I think just recognizing that every week we're going to play really, really strong opponents, and to start it off, it's one that's strong and one that we've got a little bit of rivalry with, and it'll be exciting.
Hey, Coach Javier here. Yeah, you guys got the first round bye, and you guys are on a 2-game winning streak. Multiple coaches, say different things. Some prefer to bye, some prefer to play. You guys got the bye. Do you feel like that helps you, or do you think you'd rather have played that? How do you feel about that going into the playoffs?
For me, I think that the bye is helpful for us, especially with the 10 in a row. We really needed it. We needed guys to heal up. But the bye is really nice towards the end of the season. I would prefer actually the bye in the middle of the season, like traditionally. But, having the bye kind of helps us just heal it up and kind of give our boys some rest and a reset.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, your team closed the regular season strong, 8-2, as I said, and 3-1 in region play. As you look back at that 10-game stretch, what do you feel is the biggest turning point, a specific win, major adjustment, or just a key learning moment that helped you guys get into the winning group and solidify your playoff spot?
I think our losses, really taught us a lot. We losing to Notre Dame Prep in the way that we did. Losing, we were in both games, and I think it just really taught us that, we need to have more game experience and play more. And, you learn a lot more from losses than you do from wins. And for us, it wasn't fun the next day, but our kids took it, with pride and came back and found a way to get back on the other side.
That's a great point.
To end the season, you guys 2-game winning streak. You guys went to Desert Mountain, beat a very good Desert Mountain team, 35-22. In your guys' most recent game, you guys beat Chap 38-16. So how do you kind of build off that momentum going against Notre Dame Prep? And what's the message that you're kind of sending to your boys this week?
The message for the boys is we got to continue to make sure that we're cleaning up the little mistakes that we're making them. now that we know we're top opponents in the state, it's really just about us and how we control and just our boys' mindset, knowing that it's got to be not just one game we're putting everything into, but there's going to be four. If we have that mindset, we should play at our best ability, but you never know on any Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. In your recent wins against Desert Mountain and Chaparral, you've shown both a capable offense and key defensive toughness. How your team's preparing for a first-round playoff matchup. Where does your primary coaching focus lie? Is it sustaining offensive efficiency to win shootouts, or tightening up your defense for postseason battles? And how are you reinforcing that in your practice this week?
Yeah, so for us, we got to make sure that we're not making any of the little mistakes. We turn the ball over and we give up big plays. Those are two things that we've got to really continuously do. And then on special teams, we've got to make major plays. We've worked a kick in the last 6 games, whether it be a PAT.
2 minutes on the couch. 2 minutes.
So we've taken a really big swing in our special teams, and just kind of putting all 3 of those phases together. So we limit our.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna take a quick break. That was Coach Denmore from Horizon. Coach, thank you so much for taking this time. Good luck next week, and thanks again for joining us. And we'll talk to you again next week. Take it away, Corey.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so you got to pay attention when he gives you that. If you're the guy that brought us in, you got to take us out.
Yeah, I thought you were.
No, it's 2 minute warning.
The 2 minute warning. No.
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. Yeah. No, we're good. We just gotta, we gotta be conscious of that. So that's good. It's all right. All right. What's that? Yeah, Doug Medosky. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So we have. Hey, Corey, how much time do we have? Okay, 1 minute. Who wants to transition us? Okay. All right. Perfect. It's a minute. So, yeah. Welcome back. Coming up after the break. 2 games tonight. They're listed right there, so you can literally read right off of the page, too. So, let me create the graphic.
Good spirits after the race, citing his gratitude for ending the season. Championship, the 2025 NASCAR season comes to an end, but the drivers next year, kicking off the 2026 season in Wisconsin. Clash at Bowman Grade Sunday.
Medosky.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you for tuning in to the Varsity Sports Show. Ms. Spencer, now let's get back to the action.
Hey everyone, I'm Abigail Hardy, a Hawkeye student with the Varsity Sports Show. Now, last week Saturday, I color commentated the Sonoran Sidewinders playing against the Gila River Hawks at Independence High School. That score was 65-38 by the Sidewinders. Now, the Sidewinders were favored in this game because they have a strong both offense and defense. Now, some powerful players from that Saturday were starting quarterback Brayden Darling, who ran in for that first touchdown, and then occasionally swapping him Howdy, a 6'5" quarterback who loved to use his legs. I mean, if there was an opening, he took it. Now, running back Torrey Gray ran for 146 yards out. Got out the kicker, Michael Sink, who had a very busy game that night. Now, here's the thing. Yes, the Sidewinders had themselves a game last Saturday, but they are now playing the Papago Pumas, who they have played each other on October 3rd, but the Pumas came out on top, and the Sonoran Sidewinders just couldn't hold on to their win. Now, the Sidewinders are heading into a 3-game winning streak, Could they keep it alive against the Paco Pumas? I guess we're going to have to find out on Saturday on YouTube, or you can come watch it live at Mountain Point High School. Please stay tuned for the time that is to be determined. Head over to our Varsity Sports Show Instagram for all the updates. I hope to see you there. I'm Abigail Hardy with Varsity Sports Show.
I'm Andrew Hughes for the Varsity Sports Show, and today I will be previewing the ALA West Foothills Guardians versus the Yunker Rough Riders playoff game. Yunker is coming in with a 7-3 record, but the last month of the year, they've kind of struggled to win football games. They have an explosive offense, explosive offense. They score 32 points a game, and they have a defense who's able to get turnovers. But the last month of the year, they've been struggling. I called a game for them about 2-3.
You're back on in 1 minute.
Yeah, 6-game winning streak, and ever since then, they've kind of faltered a bit. And they're looking to just get in this playoffs and get on a run and potentially make history for their school that they've never done before. This game's at ALA West Foothills. West Foothills is coming off a victory of their own, though. They're 6-4. They're coming off a string of nice back-to-back games offensively as well. So it'll be interesting to see for these two teams which gives. I feel like it's going to be an even matchup. Each team offensively has a bevy of players who both to be dynamic. They have two receivers on the east side that can make plays. They have quarterbacks that can go out of the structure of the play and make plays with their legs. So it'll be interesting this Friday at 5:30 who will come on top of this game. I think both coaches for these programs are well respected. They get the most out of their players, and it'll be interesting to see when the zeros are up in LA West Foothills who will be victorious, because it is an important playoff game and it is the first week for the playoffs in Arizona. Thank you for listening. I'm Andrew Hughes for the Varsity Sports Show.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS Arizona. This is Javier Delgado with Adam Maggard and Vince D'Alicio in studio. We will be talking to HJCAC League Director Doug McDuff soon after this break. We're going to be previewing the Salt River Scorpions versus ACU and the Sonoran Sidewinders at the Papago Pumas. Do not go anywhere after this break.
All clear.
All right, there we go.
For now, this interview, and then you wrap it up and then we'll say our goodbyes. Right?
Yes.
Interview, you wrap. And then
Yeah. We have an intro called Vince's Final Word that kind of signals the conclusion of the show, and so you could send it to Corey for that, and then I'll kind of pick up. Okay. You guys have enough to keep this going with him? He likes to answer, so talk about.
I have good questions.
Okay.
I have the growth and vision, recruiting and player development, Saturday night preview, and then a bigger picture of the future. For sure. Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's a little crazy on the sports zoo. Dave Brewster Beer State. Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Hey listeners, it's Vince D'Alicio from the Varsity Sports Show. We are proud to continue our 5-year relationship with the Saguaro SaberCats as their official broadcast team. Tune in throughout the year for live interviews and game broadcasts featuring the faculty, coaches, and athletes of Saguaro High School.
After the break, we have a special segment from Vince. Is that what I said?
No, just send it to Corey.
Okay, just send it to Corey.
Yeah, it's not a special segment. It just kind of signals the conclusion of the show. And
The Anglo Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable.
just send it to Corey. Yeah, and he'll run an intro for what we call the final word.
Angry Crab Shack
Really like
is
things
located east of I-10 on
Corey.
480-674.
Coach Podolsky's all set for you. We're going to have some extra time on this segment, too, so be sure to ask him more questions.
Oh, extra time. Awesome.
Hello, I'm Andrew Nerum, a junior at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I'm excited to show the Varsity Sports Show everything that I can offer on any side of production as I express my love for this business throughout the fall of 2025.
Hola a todos, soy Jorge Almojardo, su narrador de jugada por jugada de Viva Varsity, el nuevo transmisión en español del Varsity Sports Show. Estamos aquí para encender tu pasión por el deporte, traerte entrevistas exclusivas y vivir cada jugada contigo. No olvides a seguirnos en Instagram, @Viva Varsity, para ver lo mejor, jugadas destacadas, momentos detrás de cámara y todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera del campo. Esto es Viva Varsity, donde el deporte agarra vida en tu idioma.
The Varsity Sports Show, an all-access look around high school and college sports through Arizona and beyond. Live Saturday mornings 9 to 11 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
It's the JUCO Report on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show. News and notes from the Hoboken Junior College Athletic Conference.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS Arizona. I am Javier Delgado, joined by Adam Maggard and Vince DiLucio in studio. And this morning we are joined by Doug Madosky, the HJCAC League Director. Doug, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So to open up, today we kind of have a little preview. We got the Salt River Scorpions versus ACU and the Sonoran Sidewinders at the Papago Pumas. Can you kind of give us a little preview of that and kind of how you think that'll go?
Which one?
Let's start with the Salt River Scorpions and ACU.
Yeah, I mean, Salt River Scorpions, they opened the season this year for us against Arizona Christian. And, obviously we're winding down the season now, so it's going to be exciting to see. I think some of the growth of some of the guys, obviously, Coach Lewis is dealing with different guys that are out and injured and some different aspects of there that, are always tough to navigate and challenging, I should say, to navigate and work through. But, it'll be interesting to see some of the guys and the way that they performed week one with the way they came out and played with enthusiasm and effort that they showed then versus where they're at this point. Again, I've talked all year long, I think, about the growth of individuals and the growth of players. So I think it would be a nice opportunity to compare the two. They were close before they played them to getting that win. I think realistically they've just not turned the ball over so much, which is, fairly common for early season games, especially, with teams just coming together under staff. So I'm just interested to see how it comes together and see the growth that some of those guys have had over the course of the year. Obviously, the big one from a league standpoint is going to be the Sidewinders Pumas. That game, I think, came down to I think it was 0.8 seconds or maybe 8 seconds total. It was when that game flipped the score and the Pumas won in the first contest that they had. Both teams have been undefeated to this point still. The Pumas are, but the only blemish on the Sidewinders record has been to the Pumas. Certainly an exciting finish the last time they played over Independence. And I think obviously big implications from a conference championship standpoint for both teams in this game. It's going to be at Mountain Point High School. So it ended exciting last time. I'm hoping that it can be the same kind of game again this week. And it's exciting for everybody to watch and see how you guys develop and come out and play.
Yeah, definitely going to be some exciting games today.
Coach Vince here. As you look at where we are in the season, we're basically coming down to the second to the last week of the season. Next week being the season finale. Kind of a loaded question, but then again, not. Are you pleased with how things have shaken out this season with the teams, the parity within the league? Are there things that you felt like could be better? But I guess if you can attack the first question first.
I think that every game has been decided. It's been relatively evenly matched. I think there are, one team has made more plays here or there to get a win out of it. Or you could argue that some teams have not made the plays they needed to or turned the ball over and gave up wins. Kind of that whole snatching defeat from the hands of victory. I think there is the parity has been good. I think that the hard part is always the second time they play and late in the year. I mean, it's always a challenge to juggle your roster, to balance your roster, to keep them motivated and involved, especially if you haven't had the success you're looking for at the back half of the season. And I think that's one of the things I'm looking forward to today. Obviously the Pumas and Sidewinders have everything in place. That game is huge. You shouldn't have to do anything to get somebody else to play back. but I'm interested to see how the sport base responds. I think that's going to tell me a lot about the players that are out there. But I think the other side of that is bigger than telling me about those players. It's going to tell the 4-year colleges about that player. What do you do when anybody can be great when things are great, but when your back's really against the wall and you haven't had the success you're looking for, you're the guy that's going to fold up your shop and or tent and be normal, where you're going to just complain about it and act like the whole woe is me attitude, or you're going to be the guy that's going to bow your neck and get up off the ground and keep fighting and keep plugging away. I think that character piece is what is vital for guys that want that next opportunity.
Joined on the line by HJCAC Executive Director Doug Medosky. Coach, doubleheader tonight. I guess the big question is, because we've heard of schools coming in expressing interest in specific athletes within the league, and that's been kind of the mantra, the mission statement of this league since you started it 6-7 years ago, is to mentor these young people and to push them along to the next step of the journey, get them a scholarship to a 4-year institution. How's all that coming along as you visit with and help promote the league with the league coaches?
I think it's gone really well. I think that we're further ahead at this point than we've ever been. And with that being said, still have a long way to go. I think that as you wind down the season and you start putting together those final clips of film, those final highlight videos that you're getting sent out, you're starting to pare down, the targets of where you're wanting to really push, different guys to different programs where they're a really good fit for them. I think that's what we're going to see us really ramp up even more. I think the feedback that I've received so far is that there is a lot of interest in what it is that we're doing. There's a lot of interest in our guys that we have. There are legitimately divisional football players playing tonight and have played every Saturday since we've been playing this season. So I think on that front, we're poised to be more successful this year from a league standpoint, and I would argue from an individual team standpoint than we've ever been before.
Yeah, that's a great question, Vince. Now, for you, Doug, looking ahead, where do you see the HJCAC in the next 3 to 5 years? More teams, more visibility, maybe even partnerships with larger schools? You got any input on that?
I would say yes to all. I think that this year has been really good. I think there's going to be some, part of looking at this season and saying how much can we do this year during the season to get things cleaned up and get some systems and processes in place. But then what can we try to balance? Because what can we handle this year and change this year that creates kind of that, you start upsetting some things and challenging and shaking the status quo. So what can we get in that's going to have the least impact on the players, the programs as they currently are functioning? And then what things can we identify that we can improve on to make a significant jump as we come into this offseason? I think that's the part that I'm really looking forward to. I've had an opportunity now to meet with different groups, whether it be the officials, trainers, or facilities, and starting to really map out a plan here for this, where it's not so year to year or month to month or anything like that, but where we're really creating those partnerships that are year-round partnerships. We start looking at spring football opportunities. We start looking at jamborees and bowl games potentially down the road. I know that Vince and I have talked a bunch about trying to put something together and creating more opportunities. Teams that are in other states, teams that are in other locations around the state of Arizona even, but I think a lot of that stuff is coming in. I think it'll be really exciting for the next few weeks as we wind that season down and start to make some announcements for the future.
Hey, Doug, I've had the opportunity to call a few HJCAC games, and some of the players actually before the games have expressed a lot of gratitude for us for getting some film on them, allowing them to get more opportunities. But with that being said, what would you say have been some of the biggest challenges for this league, trying to navigate the obstacles? I know it can be very difficult to sustain a league like this, but you guys are doing a great job. But what would you say the challenges have been keeping it competitive with the other leagues?
I think there's always a challenge to go out and recruit the team. When we say that we want to be primarily based in the state of Arizona and we want to focus our recruiting efforts there first and foremost, I think that's been a real shift going into this season that was different from last year, or the last several years, I should say. I think in the past we've had coaches and we primarily looked and relied upon out-of-state players rather than in-state players, and it made no sense to me, even though we were doing it. But we have to do a better job, and we need to do a better job of getting out and explain what it is that we're doing, explain that our guys are don't
2 minutes on Medowski.
classes. They don't need to take out a bunch of student loans to be able to go to the lower level of football. That they don't need to, pay $20,000 a year in housing for them to go to a school in California or one of the other community colleges out there. Like, I think we need to do a better job. We have done a better job of explaining what we do, but I think there's still work to be done there that will really kind of be a push as we go into the off season to make sure that we touch every high school program, regardless of what level you're at, and explain what it is that we're doing and why the HJCAC is a great opportunity for you and a viable option for you to still achieve your goals. So I think that's been one of the shifts that has been, really good for us. I think it's one of the things that our coaches will see we're going to do even more on. I know that Vince and I have talked about doing different road shows and literally taking the show on the road and interacting with different communities and going to different corners of the state, so to speak, as well as adjacent states to explain why we are a great option for young people at this point. I think that the other issues, when I look at
1 minute on Podolsky.
this and slow this down, I think the communication really is key. I think that, as we've tried to build teams and focus so much on building individual teams, in some aspect, I believe that we tend to, the league itself was never really getting built. I think that we kind of had this model of, if we go out and build 5 teams or 4 teams or 10, if you pick the number we have there, that you're essentially building a conference. And the reality is we're just building individual teams, and we haven't done a good enough job of building the conference as a whole. And I think that's been one of the things that just traveling around the facilities this year, seeing that, what we do at Mountain Point, we should also be doing at Sunny Slope or Independence or Campo Verde or anywhere else. Like, it should be this continuity throughout the entire league. And I think that's something that is, we can prove it this year, but I certainly think that having the ability to run into next year and have game management under control, beginning the springtime, having everything assigned, worked out, knowing where you're going to be, communicating with the athletic directors of the facilities partners that we work with. I mean, I just think there's so many things that will become easier for the coaches and individual teams to continue to be built, because I think from a league standpoint, that focus on the league and building the league will certainly make their roles, their jobs a lot easier in the offseason.
Yeah, we're very excited to see what the HJCAC does. Thank you for joining us today, Doug. That was Doug Medowski, the league director of the HJCAC. Just a reminder, games today: Salt River Scorpions versus ACU at Sunny Slope,
90 seconds left.
and the Sonoran Sidewinders at the Papago Pumas at Independence High, 7 p.m. Take it away, Corey.
At Mountain Point.
Time for Vincent's final word.
All right, yeah, correction there. The Sidewinders Pumas game is at Mountain Point High School tonight at 7 o'clock. Thanks, Coach Medowski. And guys, what an incredible show. Thanks again to our guests today, our incredible co-hosts, Javier Delgado, Adam Maggard, the guy behind the glass that makes it all happen, Mr. Magic back there, Corey Walsh. Thank you again. Tune in to the Varsity Sports Show throughout the week. Go to our social media and our games. Head out to the games tonight, guys. A lot of good stuff. JUCO football is back and alive and well in Arizona. Mountain Point High School and Sunny Slope High, 7 p.m. tonight. Guys, on behalf of our team, thanks again for tuning in to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. My name is Vince Delicio. Go Varsity.
All clear.
All right. Nice job, you guys. Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating a platform to promote young people in extracurricular activities and community outreach. If you are interested in partnering up with the Varsity Sports Show, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or call or text us at 480-779-9437. The Varsity Sports Show, Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you.